pandemic. What if you thought of it as the Jews consider the Sabbath, the most sacred of times? Cease from travel. Cease from buying and selling. Give up just for now on trying to make the world different than it is. Sing. Pray. Touch only those to whom you commit your life. Center down. And when your body has become still, reach out with your heart. Know that we are connected in ways that are terrifying and beautiful. You could hardly deny that now. Know that our lives are in one another's hands. Surely that has become clear. Do not reach out your hands, reach out your heart, reach out your words. Reach out all the tendrils of compassion that move invisibly where we cannot touch. Promise this world your love, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, so long as we all shall live.
Dearest Earth, it's been a long time since I've written a personal letter, one that doesn't begin with greetings and inquiries or dear hiring manager. I am writing you a personal letter because the personal feels very much needed right now. Because I've written it on paper first, the words feel breathed, they whisper and sing. And when I can't see my grandmother in her facility, or my neighbor can't see his son in hospital, or our birthdays and last days become walls and 6 feet, paper feels personal, authentic, a touch of the past, or hope of what lives on.
Dói, confesso. Dói ter que deixar de te ver por tanto tempo. Ter que deixar de experienciar o que nos presenteaste como natureza humana. Seria esse o fundamental ponto? Estaríamos nós enganados ao pensar que a união humana é positiva? Bem, me responda se quiser, quando e como puder. Pode ser por um afago de grama, um arrepio de vento, um beijo de água. Aceito todas as tuas formas singelas. Escolha. As receberei com sabedoria e respeito, jurando não mais te machucar. Não quero soar piegas e inconsolavelmente romântico. Não prometo fidelidade ao discurso de não te machucar. Sei que já fomos longe demais para que possa se satisfazer com uma promessa vazia qualquer. Mas juro a minha energia. E para além da minha paixão, eu juro o meu amor. Sente o meu olhar, o meu toque, a lágrima que escorre do meu rosto e passa por cada milímetro da tua superfície sacra. Eu não quero a vida eterna, muito menos poder. Às vezes, em demasia, eu sinto. Sinto e me arrependo por mim e por tantos outros que ainda não abriram seus olhos para tua frondosa consideração. De um ser isolado. Com amor, Lucas.
Dear Grandma, I'm thinking about you so very often these days. If you don't see it anyway, picture me sitting at a sewing machine sewing face masks for our local clinic personnel. Me, sewing, Oma, face masks. With your old cloth, actually. It still smells old, no matter how often I wash it with 90 degrees. Oh, but I love that smell. I love the smell of time. I love old. There is a virus affecting us these days. Especially older ones are among the most vulnerable. I understand that an old body is not strong enough to stand this illness. I fully get that. Still, it's the strength of older ones I would need so much these days. I would need someone much older than me to tell me that we get stuff done with time. We'll get to a better place in time. I would need you, Oma, to show me how you sewed face masks during the Second World War, because I am failing here a little bit. I would need you to tell me, one step after the other, one mask at a time. One thought after the other. One day at a time. I would need you to look at my attempts here and burst into laughter. I would need you to remind me not to forget to help Mom, or Dad, or anyone who should really be helped right away. I would need you to tell me that we get through stuff, because that's what people do. We get through stuff. Changed. But we do. I'm alone here. My heart is tight, but I let life change. I'm sewing to help people help people. We try to get through, because our attempt is such stuff as life is made of. From me. 5 years older than when we last met.
Camilla Makhatcheva, My Dear Earth. Camilla Makhatcheva, дорогая моя земля. Я хочу тебе сказать прости, что не была рядом. И боль эту всю у тебя отнять. Что пожары теперь не кончаются, а число погибших животных не уменьшается. Сейчас я не могу помочь тебе особенно, ведь вирус нас всех наказывает. Ведь это не только наше с тобой дело. И хоть вирус все продолжается, я верю, что вместе мы справимся. Прости меня, что не была рядом. Но я помнила о тебе и больше не уйду.
Let me tell you a small secret. I'm not amazed nor surprised by your discipline that comes only from spinning around yourself and your master, the sun. I'm just amazed by your ability to survive everything that has happened to you. Starting from a small explosion that brought the first carbon atom to your still cold air. The carbon that is the genius director of your endless epic. You know very well what happened then, and no one else does. You are the genius planner. Totally unique and very beautiful. This beauty carries all the harshness, pain, and suffering. Carries all the conflicts between all the creatures that live in you. And of course, all the battles that you have every second to survive this endless futile universe. As a small luminary that barely can be seen. I am writing this letter as one of the last generations who will live this era. The era that is full of stories and changes. I'm going to leave one day or turn into another existence, some carbon atoms maybe. I'm going to disappear and melt into elements that you will assume in the next million years. And I'm going to give you a warm farewell in your current status, wishing you better luck in your next adventures with the universe. After you're done with being a hot planet completely covered with salted water, cement, and steel that invaded you in such a brutal, ugly way. And that will last for a long time as a witness on this stage. I think it could be the worst thing that ever happened in your long history, without even knowing who should apologize for what he has done to the other. Your loving son, man.
Dear Earth, days draw in, like waves. Things that once seemed so certain, all of it fades into hazy past tense. These days it's okay to not always make sense. Dear Earth, this confinement finds me in the countryside, in Scotland, back home with my mother. I am a grown woman, yet I hear echoes of being a child again. The little me hides in my shadows. Out here, I'm not always sure who I am. Dear Earth, today I also feel lonely. Many days I'm filled with the sense that you don't care about our problems, that you are getting on just fine. It's brilliantly reassuring. Aren't we learning a lesson in impermanence? And will tomorrow's news be as bleak? I'm not sure what tomorrow holds. As someone reaches their threshold, their voice breaks. They are alone and afraid. We're all growing tender, tenderer by the day. And now I see flowers opening like prayers. I hear birds in a gospel chorus. I feel the heat of spring upon us, your heat, Mother, warming and warning us. Dear Earth, these are difficult times, yet I feel you telling us, look what I can do when you all slow down. There will be a time for dancing. There will be a time soon when we will kiss our friends and really look and see them. I don't know when, but I feel that something good is going to happen. We don't know what or when, but something good is going to happen.
It's day 22 of lockdown, and between sleeping and not sleeping, I find myself thinking of my dad. Childhood memories swim into view and carry me away. I see him tending his garden. To my 4-year-old eyes, it seems like an unending parcel of land adorned with apple trees, full with blossom and bird song, tucked away in deepest East London. Dad likes to wear denim overalls and always smells like fresh cut grass. My brother and I follow Dad and play around him as he mows the lawn with an old-fashioned mower. It isn't electric. It requires strong arms, patience, and steadfastness. By the time we move out of London, Dad has bigger gardens to enjoy. The front and back are always filled with flowers, roses, petunias, peonies, all bursting with color. He also tends his plum and fig and cherry trees and delights us by bringing these fruits into the kitchen for Mum to wash and prepare. And every summer, Dad grows profusion of spinach, cabbage, tomatoes, and runner beans. He always invites us to work with him, teaching us how to nurture and grow Mother Nature's offerings. We call ourselves human beings. But what does it mean to be human? We call ourselves Homo sapiens. But of what does our alleged sapience or wisdom give? By what means and by what principles do we organize ourselves, build institutions, exercise power, commit acts of violence, care for the sick, worship the gods, nurture the environment, and confront our own mortality? As this pandemic, this COVID-19 fans relentless across the earth, entire countries are forced to enforce the unthinkable. Lockdowns, quarantines, and social distancing en masse, all alien to how our species has evolved for thousands of years. Who are we now? How should we live? No doubt humans have always pondered such questions. Perhaps it is the very pondering that makes us human. And just perhaps we should be asking ourselves, climate and change and coronavirus, how are they linked? How do we heal this? And where do we go from here? In the still of forced lockdown, Dad's deep, rich voice is ever more present. I look out of the window and into my own neglected garden, and as if for the first time, I see the tree of heaven. I hear the sound of day breaking, the morning breeze, and the beauty of birdsong. Inspired, quiet, finally focused, I settle down and begin to write an overdue love letter to the earth.
Lockdown. The bright light on the empty street, the lack of footfall, the empty hands, the empty hall, the loud TV, dreams, butterflies balancing on a bloom. Voices on the radio are company when you have your own room. The ancient fear of death slipping through the letterbox, clinging to your dress. The modern day plague has come to town because we were greedy with our own. Plundered the soil, polluted the air, used up resources with a devil-may-care. But the earth is so forgiving. Spring is still here.